Need for Speed Payback has to be one of the best Need for Speed games that I have ever played. Seeing as the franchise switched gears and changed direction, Payback was a breath of fresh air. Interestingly enough, I enjoyed it way more than Need for Speed Heat. I don't know if that is a weird thing to say, but it is my honest opinion. I enjoyed Payback on so many different levels than Heat. I have a lot of positive things to say about Need for Speed Payback, but with those positive things, I also have a fair share of criticisms. I wouldn't want to say negatives because I feel the game is a good enough overall experience to the point of where you can overlook a lot of those so-called negatives. But I will say that Payback is a legitimately fun game. First off, the game starts with the intro, and let me just say that the intro did its job. Any intro in a game, or at least if it has one, is something that is supposed to hook you in, which would later then convince you to play more of or finish the game. I would say that after playing Heat, I kind of knew what I was in for, but I didn't expect it to be this good. I had ignored this game for a while because Heat was the game that got all the attention, but after playing Payback, I can see why so many people like it. Need for Speed Payback is very story oriented, which is what I like. It is rare that in car and racing games that you have such a lengthy story. The story isn't the best I've seen, but it does a better job than a lot of other car games. The game has multiple protagonists. It functions more so like GTA 5, of where each character is used for a specific reason. And there are 3 main characters, and they are Tyler, Jess and Mac, and all represent the different classes in the game. Tyler is your street racer. Anything to do with standard racing, he is the guy you will play as. Jess is like your professional getaway driver, almost like the transporter from the Transporter movies. Anything to do with getting something important from one place to another as fast as possible, she's the person you'll play as, and she's also the one to usually attract police attention. Mac is your extreme racer, so basically he does your off-road, drift and basic stunts. He's pretty much like a professional stunt driver. If you need a driver to do anything crazy, then Mac is your guy. There are other characters in the game, and bear in mind that this is still a Need for Speed game, so the performances are not the best. But as far as performances go, I would honestly say that Mac gives the best performance. The voice actor sounds so authentic and like they're actually putting in an effort. A lot of the other characters either sound rather flat or as if they just really didn't want to be there. But all in all, the story is decent. The game seamlessly switches to whoever it needs to be. Unless you change the character in free roam, the game has a specific story, so you control who the story needs you to play as. And for some advice, invest in a new off-road and drag car early in the game. Do not stick to the cars that the game gives you. I made the mistake of sticking to them, and I regret it looking back now, because it made the game more difficult than the game needs to be. The cars you get for free for off-road are clunky SUVs. I would say maybe get a small hatchback that is nimble and easier to drive. And for the drag, I would say just buy any decent mid-range car that is rear-wheel drive. Do not, I repeat, do not use the drag car the game gives you. It is good for the first few races, but what the game doesn't tell you is that you need a drag car that can drive like a normal car, because the drag races in the game are not all quarter-mile drag strip races. The drag car they give you for free can't turn corners, and I am being serious about that. I literally mean it can't turn. And you can imagine to my surprise and disappointment when I saw that some of the other drag cars look exactly the same as the normal racing cars. And I asked myself, then why can't I just use my racing car instead? But anyway, you have been warned. The first criticism I have about Need for Speed Payback is its pacing. The game has a very weird modification system that I still don't understand. Usually with Need for Speed games, it's that you can change out one part at a time. With this game, it's more of like a stats system, of where if you add this part, it makes your car faster, instead of being a system where you can set up your car the way you would like it. I found it rather difficult because I couldn't really do anything specific, so all I just did was spend money on what would make my car faster. I will say that I like how the nitros works in this game. If you get it in the sweet spot, you have both good NOS and powerful NOS. But what I realize is that NOS amount and NOS power are not the same thing. The other criticism is customizations. The game doesn't let you know early on that you need to complete activities in free roam to unlock the customizations. It's either I missed the hint or that they really don't tell you. But I was disappointed to find out that after playing the game for over 15 plus hours that I couldn't change the rims on my cars. Bear in mind, the only reason this happened was because I was using the free cars the game gives you. I used nearly all my money to modify them, and when I finally bought my cars, I could change fenders, bumpers and spoilers, but I couldn't change my rims. So yeah, I feel like I really wasted my time with that. I wish they had made it mandatory for you to do some of the free roam activities and then they would leave it up to you to do the rest, but at least now you know. I have to just mention how crazy the AI in this game is. They make you feel like you're not even a part of the race sometimes. It's almost as if they are actually racing against each other. There were times where the AI would have pile-ups behind me and then I would win the race by a gap. But I like the AI in this game. They were so much fun. The third criticism I have with Need for Speed Payback is the handling. One of my biggest reasons for buying this game is the map. The map of Need for Speed Payback is huge. I think it has to be one of the biggest maps of any Need for Speed game. And the biggest letdown is the handling. You have such a big map with some of the best road layouts I have ever seen. And one thing you need to understand is that when you have an open world map this big, the handling is very important. I feel that this game could have really benefited from having a simcade handling. Arcade handling is only good if you have a small map, but it's often that driving from one end of the map to the other feels very tiresome because when you try to enjoy the ride, you are held back by rather bad arcade handling. And yes, I know, you get the live tuning thing, but that doesn't do much when you have to brake to drift. And that's another thing. Brake to drift is horrible and it needs to end. There are many drift events that are horrible because the brake to drift system only works if you're going at a specific speed. You can't start drifting from 0, you have to start drifting at 60. One thing I felt when playing this game is that it has a really amazing world. One could say that this is the best that Need for Speed has ever had. The world feels like a place where people could actually live. This map makes you feel small. You can see detail far into the distance and you can feel that this was a handcrafted world that was made by passionate people. The layout is really good and the attention to detail is pretty good too. If Need for Speed Payback had better handling, I would say that it is one of the best car games I have ever played. I would love to see another Need for Speed game be made in this exact format. A big open world with a good story and lots of things to do. If you have never played Need for Speed Payback, I would advise people to give it a try. I was missing out until I tried the game and now I can say I enjoyed it. The goodness is, the game goes for a really good price on sale. So if you ever wish to try this game, you can get it at a very good price. But I would advise that you humble your expectations and that you just try and enjoy the game for what it is. To be fair though, I wanted so much more from this game because I feel like it could have been so much more. For Need for Speed to make an open world game with such a good map and freedom aspect is really what won me over in the end. This game feels like it took influence from the first Crew game and Forza Horizon 3, games which came out a year to a few years before Payback. And the best part is that they made it their own. I would say that this has to be one of their most ambitious projects yet. Compared to Payback, Heat and Unbound just look like downgrades. This is a game that wants to be taken seriously and that wants your love and attention, because if you do, the game will reward you with a good experience. And with that, this is the Chilly Man signing off. I thank everyone for watching. Peace out.